Dr. Go back. This is an extension of that last video. If you saw the last one, you saw where that pump that I had came apart twice on me and couldn't keep it together, and I was making more mess than it was good, not making progress. So I took the old pump out of the old one from 3 years ago, put it in there, and I'll figure that other one out later. But while I was off camera, I took one pump of each, and so far held together. So I'm going to keep on going and wish me luck, because that was not really a picnic, and it's expensive stuff to be wasting. So here we go again. Full pumps of both epoxy and then pump of hardener. Keeps a 1-to-1 ratio with these pre-metered pumps. I got a lot to go here, so I'm going to keep pumping. It's going to get boring. But I like to mix 1 and 1, so that way it's layered better when I go to mix it with the tongue depressor. It's not all clumped in one spot. And I don't have to keep track. I'm just looking at the ounces that it's going to take. I kind of reviewed to see what I thought the coverage would be, and I guess we'll find out if I actually get the right coverage or not. I go slow and steady because it's thick. I don't want to jam it and bust it again. I was trying to be careful with the other one, but maybe I got too aggressive. I don't know. So far, that's what I got in there, which is, even with glasses, it's hard for me to read. Let me see if I can read it. Oh, geez. It's about 5 ounces. I'm going to get a little bit more here. Maybe 2 more pumps of each. Even though I looked at the charts and I did some calculations, it all depends on how thick you put it on, how well it rolls out on a dry surface. I'm sure, as you all know, everything you do like that is variable. So now I gotta be a minute. So I gotta look, I'm at 228 on my video. So sorry for that first 228 of boringness. Now comes another minute of boring. I try not to stir super fast. I don't want to get bubbles in it. This is not critical. This is not looking at the deck of a 1938 boat like a Chris Craft that has to be perfect. This is just a piece of plywood underneath I'm going to sit on, so I still don't like to get bubbles in it. I like to try and do it slow and steady and get it figured out. It'll be like syrup. And then I'm going to try and pour it on in some areas thin, and then I'll try and use a roller and see how much coverage I can get with that roller. Disposable. I need to move a little faster here because I want to get thorough, and I don't know if I'm getting as thorough as I want. It still looks kind of milky. Let me get around my table here. You can see what it looks like. You can see inside there. I don't want to spill it on the floor, but I'm about ready to. But nonetheless, it looks like almost kind of like how you have a marbly liquid dish soap in there where you're trying to get one uniform color, and it looks like it's got some clouds flying through there. But it's getting there. I probably got enough time according, it says a minimum. And it gives you the working temperatures that you should do. It depends on how hot and cold your area is as to how long you've got working time on this stuff before it starts to get too thick to work with. So I don't want to mix it forever here. And then also, if you do multiple layers, here I'm only going to do 1 layer. But if you did multiple layers, as long as you did it within the wet time, it will chemically keep bonding layer after layer if you were putting coats after coats on something you want to look nice. If you wait till it completely dries, you got to sand and get a mechanical scratch surface like you do paint to get it to bite for a second and a third. So you got to look at what you want to do. And I like it when, if I am layering it, I am trying to do it chemically. Again, this is going to be a 1-coat thing. All right, so I'm going to move over there and wish me luck. This might be another circus. I'm going to leave a little bit in there and see what happens as I try to roll this in. Get the roller wet a little bit on some of this. Just kind of get that saturate up. So then I can go across and try and roll it. It doesn't matter the direction. I'm going to get the fat spots rolled across here a little bit, and then I'll roll it the long way. Again, I'm no professional. Watch somebody on the internet that actually is professional. There probably is a ton of them out there. I just haven't found them all, but I have found Andy at Boatworks today, and he's my guy, so I keep coming back for all he's got to learn or teach me. Well, it's coming together. It's getting nice and wet. That's what I wanted. If you could see it up close, because I drizzled it on here, it has stripes in it that you probably would not want in a finished surface. So that's probably not the best way to go about doing it. Probably in a roller tray, saturated, so this would make a nice even run without pouring. But again, these surfaces are going to be mated and never seen, so I don't care what that looks like. But it did a good job. Actually did a very good job of wetting that whole surface, and it looks nice and thin. All right, now I'm going to go into my second panic mode. I'm going to put this down. I'm not sure where because I didn't look yet. I'll probably put it in my box here on the old gloves. I have a garbage box on the floor. I hooked it on the edge and I laid it on the glove. So now let's try the next new thing. Got this rigged up. You got to pull the cap out. If you can see on the inside of that, let's see if I can be careful. That thing has got two parts to it in there. And it looks like I got to pull out that other part with my pliers. Pull the first cap off. Let's see. Nope, I'm probably wrong. Probably wrong. I might try it one more time, but I guess I didn't read the instructions well enough. I think that big plug that came out, it had a split tongue in it, like that. You can see that. You can see the goop in one side and not in the other. So, I don't know. I'm going to guess maybe it is the way it's supposed to go. I just can't see in there, but we're going to give it a shot. Put on that nozzle. Kind of a funky looking nozzle. I don't know how much, but I cut it. You can cut it many different increments, and that just screws on. So let's try it and see what happens. Who knows if it even will squirt through there, because I probably still should have read more directions. I got a little anxious. But let's go give it a shot, see what happens. I'm freaking out a little bit, so I'm going to look at the other one more time because it's not in the gun, just to see if I have that figured out right. I'd sure hate to squirt out one part and not the other part. Just like measuring twice and cutting once, I should have read 2 or 3 times before I did that. I'm going to look at it under the light. Nope, that's supposed to be the way it is. I just gonna have to have forearms the size of a pro football player to get that stuff to squeeze out of there. We'll see how long I can hold up and get that through there. It's not pretty thick. Pretty thick. I'll do it in front of the camera to see if you can see it coming through there. Jeez, it's gonna tear my forearms off. This might not go as well as I thought it was. Well, you can see it going through. But because of those restrictions, that zigzag, man, again, it is something else. Woo! Okay, old man, you're going to run out of gas, but you got to do it. You got to do it. Here we go. Of course, I don't know how old this stuff is. I bought it a long time ago. It might be twice as thick as it's supposed to be. Holy mackerel. If I can't get it out of there, I'm just going to wet that other surface and we're going to laminate without it, because I don't know. It's going to be a rough game. Woo. Again, it says not to use a pneumatic one or electric one. Dang, I'm going to need some biofreeze tonight on my neck. Woo. I gotta be doing something wrong here, but it's coming out, but man, oh man. I think I'm gonna cut this end off even bigger because I don't want it to take forever. I hope it doesn't gum up my pliers. We're gonna find out here. Wipe them down. Not that that'll help a lot, because the reality was it wasn't going through there that fast to begin with. Whew. All right, enough boredom. I'm going to go off camera and see if I can figure out a better way to get that through, or if I got the endurance to do it. And once I get that figured out, I'll try and come back on another video and see if I can get it trawled. And if I can't, I'm going to plan B it and just do liquid to liquid without the peanut butter. Here we go. Sometimes it works. And if you got inexperience, here's the time to learn how to make it work.